Now, why have I grouped all of these chapters together? I have called them the author's interpolations. So what you've got is this. The fictional author who decides he's going to write the story of Pi interviews Pi in Canada, and Pi apparently tells him his story, which, as we saw earlier, he's writing down. And what you get throughout the first part is a bit of the story told by Pi in the first person, and then the fictional author telling you about meeting Pi or interviewing Pi, and that goes on all the way through in these chapters. And chapter 2 introduces this. Interpolation, inter means, as you know, between, like an inter-high soccer match or something like that. So inter is between. And interpolations, you've got the story that Pi is telling, but in between the chapters dealing with Pi's story, you have this fictional author telling us about interviewing Pi and getting the information for the story that Pi is then telling us. And we start in chapter 2, and all these chapters are easy to see because they're printed in italics. Let's just have a look at what we're told. Chapter 2, Pi lives in Scarborough, and we're given his physical appearance. Then we're told that he is an excellent cook. We're told that Pi is very distressed at times during the retelling of his experiences. That's the most important thing in chapter 12. Chapter 15 begins, his house is a temple. So I've put it into italics for you there. In this chapter, the narrator describes the Hindu gods, Christian icons, the prayer mat, which is part of Islam, a book covered by a cloth at the center of which is the word God in Arabic, and the Bible on the bedside table. Chapter 21, here's a quote from the chapter, that's why it's in italics. I'm sitting in a downtown cafe after thinking. After means after he has been talking to Pi. So he interviewed him in the cafe or wherever, and now Pi's gone and he's sitting there afterwards thinking. I've just spent most of an afternoon with him. Then in chapter 30, again a quotation, he's married. Chapter 33, a quote, he shows me family memorabilia. Memorabilia are the things that you keep that remind you of the past. It could be photographs, but think about the things you might have, maybe a pair of earrings from a great-grandmother or something like that. That's memorabilia, things that remind you of the past. In chapter 36, the writer, that's the fictional writer, meets Pi's son, his daughter, the dog, and the cat. And Pi's son, Nick, calls the narrator the writer.